Right. Hello and welcome everyone for the round 7 of the SPRC Championship. Tonight we are racing at Abu Dhabi. And yes, we are racing at the Abu Dhabi, the new layout for the first time in the F1 game. So let's see how the drivers do. So of course we have nice weather. We do not expect any rain at Abu Dhabi as usual. So we have, I believe, short qualifying only, so only one session. So we are seeing the first drivers come out. We have the explicit Simo 23. We also have Jonesy's probably the first one on track in the Alpine. Behind him, Cameron, the Red Bull, I believe, is one of the favorites. Yes, so we have the standings. Yes, Cameron is currently fifth in the driver standings, so definitely looking up to having a good qualifying session and to close down on the lead of Dan and Nat or Spillage ahead. Here we have Williams of Ozan, who is currently 7th in the standings, but more crucially, Williams are currently leading the Constructors' Championship by 50 points over Alfa Romeo and Haas, so this is important race for them as well. With only 4 rounds to go, every point is now crucial in the standings. So yeah, let's see how he does on his first flying lap. Yes, and we have the famous Ozan army in the chat. We have already yellow flags in the first sector, and in the first sector, hopefully it's only for letting other drivers on their hot lap pass. Let's also do this, but yes, I think Ozan may have invalidated his lap because he seems like to be heating up his tires again, so let's check on some other drivers. Oh, and Smithy has retired from the session. I don't know what happened there. Oh, here we see two drivers getting really close on the pit exit. Hopefully nothing happened. I'm just playing with the settings right now, so we have everything we need. Yes, so let's check. Here we have Blackpool starting his flying lap. But yeah, he seems also to make a small mistake and say now we can switch to Spillage, who is currently also fighting at the front of the championship standings. So let's see what his lap. Oh, and we have the first lap from Explicit Simo, 133.9. I don't think that's really competitive time, as I think the qualifying time should be in 120. Yeah, here we see 124.3 drawn by Shizen. So let's see what Spillage does here. We have Borwell improving on the time and taking the provisional pole with 124.221. So here we are getting the first times in. And Spillage only P3 so far, 124.6. But it's so far first and P1 and P3 for the McLaren, but of course we only have 4 times in, so it's everything to play for. Yeah. Let's switch to Dan, who's currently leading the championship with 199 points ahead of Nat by 19 points in Haas. So of course Dan is one of the favorites to take the pole position today. So let's see, he's already in the first sector, went through the new layout at the end of sector 2. We see also Zach going third fastest with 124.4. But yeah, now let's see for what time does Dan do, and it's 124.1 and the provisional pole by almost exactly 1/10 over Borwell. So Dan takes the provisional pole. And let's check. Madman Oliver, who is finishing his lap. It's 124.4 and it's fifth place so far, because Pi has taken P4. Blackpool, oh no, someone else jumped in. Yeah, Panda we have in P8, David Berry in P9 so far. So all the drivers getting their first laps in. Ozan in P11 in the second Williams. Blackpool finishing his lap, and now Nat goes fastest by only what, 100 of a second over Dan. So yeah, the championship fight is still on. And the first 2 drivers in this driver standings fighting for the title is in here as well. And yeah, it's really close after the first laps done. So we have the first laps done by almost everyone. We have Optic and Cameron Poulter in their out lap. Yeah, Optic started his quick lap right now, so let's follow him. And he spins, and fortunately it's not a terminal damage, but his front wing is damaged. It's completely off, and he has a whole lap to go back to the pits and to the repairs. So let's check with Cameron, who is right now approaching the final turn and entering his hot lap. Cameron currently 5th in the standings with the Red Bull, so still maybe in the championship fight. Of course, we have different point system as in F1, so more points are on the table, and of course that means even if the gap is bigger in the standings, it can be closed within few races. So let's see what Cameron does. Everyone else in the pits, almost everyone, so track should be clear for Cameron. Nice tight line through the second straight. Here we see the new long left-hander change from the twisty section that was there usually in the past years. Hopefully should be able to make the racing here more interesting. Let's see Cameron in the final turn, and it's a 1:23.8, so Cameron takes the provisional pole by 3/10, and it seems to be a really good time so far. We also have, again, all the drivers are coming out for their second rounds. We have Shenzhen first entering the hot lap, so let's follow him. Oh, and he spins as well, and luckily, hopefully it's not a side pod damage. His front wing is on, which is important, but if there is a side pod damage, that may be game over in the qualifying. So let's see. Now we follow Borwell, who is currently in P4, just 1/10 of Dan and Matt, so a little improvement. Can see him jump into the first row so far, but it seems that he's also just aborted this lap and will go for another one. Let's see. I'll check with Ozan, who is in his second flying lap as well, whether he can improve. Nice and tight through the chicane. Yes, we have to give people what they want. They want Ozan, we give them Ozan. He's almost 7/10 down from his previous lap, so it seems to be quite improvement, although 7/10 would just barely give him one place currently, as he's exactly 7/10 behind Wasted. Dan's currently in P3, he's on his fast lap on his second run. It's really close, but yeah, we will check on him just as Ozan crosses the finish line, and he goes P10, so nice improvement for Ozan. Now we have Dan, who is improving, but only by 1/10. So it depends if he can find the pace in the last sector. Last turn, and he takes only P2 by 300ths of a second, so the fight for the pole is heating up. It's going to be really close between Cameron, Dan, and maybe Ned, and maybe someone else. Let's see. We have David Berry entering his hot lap, whereas Pilic in Sector 2 is 1/10 improving. Yeah, that was a really nice lap for Dan. Unfortunately, still a little bit short of the pole, but he has the lead in championship, and although I know he would love to win, I think P2 is still really great for the championship hopes, and also for the constructors, as they are fighting for that as well. Let's see Spilic's time, and Spilic goes P5, so that's a nice lap for him as well. We'll see Cameron is going out for his second run. Yeah, we can check with Oliver now in Sector 2 in the chicane. These times it's really close, all the way between P3 and P10. It's like 4/10, which is really tight in the league racing, and one mistake or can really cost you a lot or gain you a lot if you can improve on it. Let's see Oliver if he can improve, and he goes P4. So yeah, it's really getting closer and closer at the front. Right, who do we have else in their fast lap? Optics, he has invalidated. Let's see with Wasted. Oh, we have yellow flag, and yeah, we have 4 minutes, so it depends. If you can go out with 2 minutes left, you can still get one more lap in, so yeah. Hi Dan, yeah, how are you doing? Hope you will find, or not hope, I of course have to be impartial, but yes, you're still just that little bit short of the pole. So yeah, let's see which Cameron is actually, as he is on his flying lap. whether he can improve as well as everyone else improves. If he can increase the gap at the front. Yeah, that sector 3 is really tricky. I haven't done many laps in Abu Dhabi this year, but for me the track is much better than it was like last year. I really disliked it, but the third sector is still twisty, and especially in this year's cars it's not really pleasant, but it is what it is. And let's see now with Cameron entering the final corner. Can he improve? Yes, he can. It's 1:23.4, so that's a really good lap from Cameron. 3.5 tenths on done. So yeah, you have a lot of work to do, a lot of to catch up. But we see other drivers going out on their final run. It's done. We have Ned on their out lap. Let's go with Chesn, who crashed in the previous lap, and we see Zach going in the 123s and taking the P3. So that's also heating up the constructors fight, as it's actually, I believe, Williams, Haas and Alfa Romeo fighting for the first place. So having them in P2, P3 and P4 can be really interesting in the constructors championship looks. Shazam is improving by 3 tenths, which would also put him in the fight for the P3, P4. We also see Nat is in her flying lap, so we'll check on her when Shazam. I'm really not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. And let's see, is he just barely in the 124s, but he takes P4 and jumps over Nat, who is improving. Not anymore. She's down 2 tenths. And Spillage retired. I don't know whether it was a crash or whether it was intentional, but I see there's a McLaren in the exit of turn 2, so it may have been a spin. I think Nat is preparing for a second run. That's what she does. Let's check on with Dan. He is improving by 600ths of a second currently. Oh yeah, we head in for that. He's struggling in the... Oh, and he spun. No, that's it for Dan. There won't be enough time to improve, so yeah, let's see what can Nat do. She's currently really the only one who can challenge Cameron for the pole position, or even then for a P2. So the qualifying is officially, the time for qualifying is done, so we have only drivers finishing their current laps. So let's see if we can have any improvement. Optics goes to P11, jumps Ozan. And Nat is slower by 3 tenths of a second, so it doesn't look like she's gonna improve. Wasted goes P10. Borwell goes P3. And that's a great result for the McLaren. She cannot find those 3 tenths and something a little bit more in the final sector. And now she's going straight into the pits. So let's see, we have Oliver here. Can he improve? No. David Berry goes P9. Ozan not improved. yeah, then the 360, 10 out of 10. But I would just advise you not to do that in the race. Although it would definitely make things more interesting and in the championship as well, but yeah, for your own sake. Maybe not the best strategy. But I guess you were inspired by Verstappen in Hungary, who still did 360 and still won quite easily. So the qualifying is done, we're just waiting for all the drivers getting into pits. So 5 teams in the first 5 places. Cameron on the pole position with an amazing 123.4. Dan on P2. Borwell P3, Zach P4, Shazan P5, Nat P6, Oliver P7, Spillage P8, David Berry P9, Pipe P10, Wasted P11, Optics P12, Ozan P13, Panda P14, Explicit P15, Bloodpool P16, Smithy P17, Explicit P18, Jonesy P19, and Dusty Fakes rounds up the grid in P20. So I believe we will have an exciting race in front of us. Hopefully not too many crashes, hopefully it will be all clean, but in league racing there is nothing guaranteed. It seems like we have a little bit of overcast weather, but it may be just because of the loading screen. But let's see, it would be quite a show if we had rain in Abu Dhabi. It would definitely spice things up. But I'm not sure if the drivers would enjoy and if they would even be prepared setup-wise for Abu Dhabi in rain. It's something that probably never happened and most likely never will, but let's see. Yes, of course we have the formation lap going on as well. Maybe Dan can do 360 now to get the heat up to his tires. Yes, of course everyone will want to prepare their tires as much as they can, get the heat into the tires, so everyone has grip in the first few corners, and it will be really important as we have with the new layout. The first section is really quick, and without a twist section it's going to be really important having the good run up not only to the Max Verstappen corner but also on the main straight, which is one of the longest straight in the calendar, and with the slipstream in the first lap things can get very, very interesting. We can see a lot of overtakes, but yeah, let's see. Because we have also the predicted pit stop strategy. We can be all changed with one safety car, so I think most of the drivers will be aiming for one stop, but yeah, the safety car can really change it. Let's see actually what tires is everyone on. Yeah, so everyone on the mediums except for Jonesy, who is on the hards. Yeah, he's P19, so he probably has nothing to lose. Maybe he will hope for, of course he will hope that there will be no safety car in around lap 10 or so, because that would be really devastating for the one-stop strategy from hards to mediums or even hards to softs. But pretty much everyone on the same strategy probably. The most challenging part of Abu Dhabi. Tough to say with the new layout. Of course, the sector 3 is really tough, but it's a twisted section, but it's not too much of an overtaking spot, so it's really technical part. But it's going to be important, especially in the first lap, to have the good run on the first and second main straight, as a lot of position can be gained and lost there. So, but let's go for the race. 5 lights are off, and here we go in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It seems like Cameron had a good start, cuts off Dan, takes the inside line. Oh, and there is a spin already. It's Shazan with the Haas. Drops all the way to the back, and there is a crash in the back as well. It's Panda in the Mercedes who hit the wall, probably got hit by somebody. But at the front it's Cameron P1, then keeps P2. No many changes in there. Let's see in the first main straight. There are a lot of cars going side by side. Cameron is trying to break up the toe. Let's see if we have any maneuvers down, if anyone will send it down the inside. It looks like Spy tried to send it down the inside of Spillage, but he was too tight and he may even lose his position to David Berry, but he holds on the P8 so far for the moment. At the front it's still unchanged. Cameron first, then second. Borwell P3, Knight P4. We see Optics going past Explicit Tyson, and they're fighting for the position there. Ferrari went a little bit wide, and he already had 3 seconds penalty for Optics for multiple warnings, so really that's not a start you want to have in lap 1 to already have a 3-second time penalty. But let's see, no safety car so far for the incident. Oh, and there's a spin, it's, who is it? It's Bloodpool, no, it's Explicit Tyson who lost it in the second to last corner. And here we see Ozang going to the pit lane. He probably has a front wing damage, also was in the first turn, got probably tangled there, and wasted this out. There is already a Red Bull spinning, it's the Explicit Simo. So I'm not sure whether there was a contact or both drivers just lost it in the exit of turn 2, which can be really tricky on the back end, and you can really easily lose it. So, but we are not sure if there is a safety car or not. There are yellow flags in sector 1, sector 2, sector 3, but yeah, there is a virtual safety car, it seems like. Don't have the message at the top, and yeah, track is clear. We have a green flag and the race resumes, and there's already what happened there. Panda, what's going on? Oh no, I think, yeah, he's probably on the cold tires. He crashed in the pit lane and he is retired. That's really unlucky for Panda. But let's get back to the racing at the front. So far no changes. There are already 1 second gap being created between the first 3 or 4 drivers. And Explicit Simo has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Let's see, then the DRS is enabled. It looks like Dan won't be in the DRS zone, but Borwell and the McLaren will be in the DRS of Dan. So let's see if he can maybe attack, but it's pretty far back, but with the DRS he can close up to them, but it's probably too far for any attack. Let's see Ned, who is closing up on Oliver in P4. Second DRS zone, she is closing up. Oliver does not have a DRS. There was a yellow flag for a moment, but probably nothing serious, as we have green flag already. That is really close on Oliver's rear end, so Let's see, in this section it's really impossible to overtake without any mistake of the driver in front. Cameron with the fastest lap, creating a gap between him and Dan, which will be really important as you do not want to. Now, and there is a crash. It's Explicitissimo. I'm not sure if he spun, but there was a yellow flag. He lost the position. Oh, and Cameron Potter spun on just after he done the fastest lap. He was creating the gap. He was starting on pole, but he now spun and goes down to P10. And Dan takes the lead. So Dan is the new leader of the Grand Prix in lap 4. I'm not sure whether Cameron has any damage. Let's check on that. If he has damage, he's dropping down the field, so he probably has a front wing damage. We'll see if he will go to the pits or not. It doesn't seem from the first look that there is any damage, but of course they may be even side pod damage or underbody damage. So hopefully it's not that serious for Cameron and he can come back in the race. He definitely has the pace to climb back and get in top 10, maybe even higher in top 5. And we have yellow flags in sector 3, and it's Borwell from P2. He was closing up on Dan, but he spun as well. So it's Dan and Nat in P1 and P2, just as in the driver standings, but Nat's already 3 seconds behind. So she has some catching up to do. And she got past Oliver. I think she was starting behind him. So she got past and now she can catch. And Cameron has retired. It's probably a bigger damage. Or more something like side pod damage or floor damage, which can really ruin your race. And Cameron has retired. And we have a virtual or safety car. Blackpool gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car, so that's really unlucky. Yeah, I think it's a full safety car. We see the safety car coming out of the pit lane right now. So it's lap 5. Let's see if anyone dives into the pit and goes for a long stint on the hards. Let's see what tires everyone is. Yes, so currently it's Smithy pitted for the hards, as well as Ozan on lap 1. We have Jonesy on the hard tires, but he started on them, so he will most likely stay out. We will see if Dan or not pit for, or anyone else behind tries to do something different. Let's see. And Dan is diving to the pits. Dan is going to the pits. Ned is staying out, so the championship leaders are split in their strategy. Dan is pitting as well as Zach, but it seems like everyone else is staying out. Oh no, sorry, Zach is staying out. Oliver went to the pits. Spillage by David Berry all stayed out. Yes, Dan goes on the hards as well as Oliver. Jonesy will benefit from this and he jumps to P6 after starting from P19. Borwell going to the pits for hards as well as Optics. Blackpool is staying out right now. He has a drive-through penalty that he cannot serve, and Borwell retired. I'm not sure what happened. If it seems like he crashed at the exit of pit lane, maybe, but his car is moving. I'm not sure what happened there, but Borwell, another front runner from this race, is out. So yeah, the field gets shaken up a little bit. Explicitissimo goes for a different strategy and goes for the soft tires right now. Coming out in P13. Ozan went for a stop again, going on the medium tires that probably won't last to the end, and he will have to pit again, as well as all the drivers on the mediums. But yeah, so with Dan going to the pits, it's Ned who takes the lead, and we'll lead the restart once we get the opportunity. but we will have to wait for the whole field to catch up, so it will take definitely one more, maybe 2 more laps. So it's gonna be important for everyone to keep the temperatures in the tires, especially for the drivers on the hard tires, since it's much harder to keep the temperature in this year's game. It's definitely going to be a challenge, and we will see whether Dan can climb up through the field, or whether or not strategy of staying out on the mediums and maybe hoping for another safety car later in the race. Which one will be the better one, or if anyone else can come up with the victory today. Also important to say that on the first 2 places we have Nat in the Haas and Zach in Alfa Romeo. As I already said in qualifying, these 2 teams are on the same points in the Constructors' Championship in 2nd and 3rd place with 246 points, so they're definitely not only fighting between themselves but also trying to catch up Williams in the 1st place in the standings, who are currently on 296 points. So definitely there is all to play for, not only in the driver standings but also in the Constructors' Championship. Also with Cameron crashing out, probably the chances of Red Bull catching up to the front 3, especially for this race, is done, as Red Bull is currently 47 points behind the Alfa Romeo and the Haas. But we have only one runner in the Red Bull, and that's Explicit Simo, currently in P13. And in the driver standing, let's see if there are any interesting fights going on right now, apart from the first 2. There's Spillage, who is currently P3 and in the standings, and he's P3 in the race as well. He will try to keep his lead over Dusty Fakes, and who's currently in P4, but we have safety car coming in this lap, so let's focus on that. Let's focus on what we'll not do during the restart. Of course, she has to let safety car go and keep the distance between her and safety car before the restart. So let's see. She's still heating up her tire, and I think she may have, yes, she's gone. And it seems like she had a really good restart. Pulled from Zag, who is currently under pressure from Spillage, and Zag may have made a mistake in the turn 1, so he's really under pressure from Spillage, but he actually may have so much that Spillage lost all his momentum, and he's now under pressure from Pi. In the back we see Explicit Simo going past the Haas. Of course, he's on the soft tires, so he has the advantage there. Let's see if there are any changes. Pi is going to send it. No, he went back. It looks like Oliver is going past Optics and Bloodpool. Now Spillage, will he try anything? And will he try to pass Zach on this straight? We have no DRS so far. It will be enabled in the 3rd lap after the safety car went in, so one more lap with no DRS. We see the fights in P12 and P13 between Explicit Tyson and Explicit Simo. Yeah, this is really... It seemed like Explicit Tyson got ahead of Explicit Simo, and will keep the P12 at least for the moment in Sector 3. Of course, as I said, Simo is on the sub tire, so and there is a crash between... Is it between Ozan and Shazan? I'm not sure. I think it was, and Bloodpool has gone into the pits. Yeah, he has the drive-through penalty, but there definitely was a contact between Haas and maybe the Williams of Ozan. The Haas was there in a half spin. Bloodpool is in the pits. He has damage, so he's not serving his penalty right now. But let's get back on the front, and there's again Spillage with a second behind Zach. He is in the striking distance, but still with no DRS, it's going to be really hard to get anything done. And now we see Dan going past Jonesy. Oh, this is gonna be close. Dan is on the inside and gets past Jonesy, and also now Oliver, Jonesy's teammate, will try and go past him. Dan keeps P6 for now. It's Jonesy on the outside, but he cannot make it stick, and Dan takes P6 and moves up one place, and behind we see Optics fighting with Oliver. Yeah, let's enjoy the fight without any UI for a bit, but we'll probably turn it back on since we need. And David Berry gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and Jonesy has spun. Jonesy has spun on the exit of final corner. I don't believe there was any contact. So this is really not ideal for Jonesy, who started on the hard set, so he still has one pit stop to go. But we have now DRS enabled, so let's see in the front. Zach is in the DRS of Ned, Spillage is in the DRS of Zach. Can anyone gain a position here? Will anyone dare to go for a dive bomb into the chicane? And Shazan is retired. He's retired. I'm not on the... I believe he is on the final straight. And again, not sure what happened here. We didn't catch it. If there was any contact or if it was a mistake. And he's out, and we have only yellow flags in sector 1. Well, his car is still going, it seems like. A lot of stuff going on right now. So many fights after the safety car restart with the... Oh, and Zach spun and Spillage hits Zach, and he has definitely a front wing damage. So Spillage will have to go to the pits and almost gets collected by David Berry, and Dan now tries to get past Pi, and he doesn't make it 6-4 now, but we'll have the better run through the first few turns in the first sector. So Zach is in the pits, Spillage is in the pits as well. Let's see, Dan going for the overtake, maybe probably on the longest straight of the circuit, but also we see in the back Optics fighting with Oliver. So we have two fights on our screen right now. It seems like, yeah, Optics is side by side with Oliver. Dan doesn't go for the move, so let's see if Optics can go into P5. Ooh, tight battle between the two of them, but little bit of contact, but nothing too major, and Optics takes P5 for now, but now Oliver and Dusty Fakes have the DRS. And we also see Dan went past Pi, and he's now in P3. Of course, we cannot keep with all the fights going on right now. But yeah, we have now the championship leader Dan in P3, only 4.5 seconds. Now Pi goes to the pits. Now Dan, it will be important for him to go past David Berry as soon as he can. He seems to be faster than him at the moment. And if he does it, he will be behind Nate, who still has to pit. So it seems like the strategy is really working out for Dan at the moment. Let's see if Dan can go past David Berry. It seems like David is low on the ERS charge, so that's definitely not going to be helpful for him. Dan does not send it down the inside, probably waiting for the second DRS zone, and now he will most likely attack. And meanwhile, Ozan gets 3-second time penalty, and yes, Dan goes through to P2. And now is only 4 seconds behind that and can start his hunt for the P1. Let's check with Dusty Fakes, who is closing up on Optics and will try to go past him. Again, they are now in the sector 3, which is a technical part of the circuit with pretty much no chance for an overtaking. But Dusty Fakes in P4 in the driver standing, so of course he's still fighting for all the points he can get and move up the table, especially after Spillage has crashed with Zach. Now Jones gets 3 seconds time penalty. Yes, so let's see for now. Jonesy gets past David Berry, but David Berry went to the pits, so that's the reason why he's dropping down the field at the moment. Let's see if Dusty Fakes can go past Optics here, or if he will wait for the second straight as did Dan with his fight against both of the Aston Martins, as he passed them both on the second straight. And we have Oliver in the pits. But let's see. Dusty Fakes goes on the inside, and it seems like yes, he is ahead. And he takes P3 from Optics. Let's see what tires is again everyone on. So the front runners except for Nat are all on the hards, but Jonesy still has 1 pit stop to go. Ozan and Explicit Tyson are the first runner, apart from Nat, who are on the mediums, and Optics spins in the second to last corner and lose places. And Jonesy is in the wall. Jonesy is in the wall as well in sector 3. This proves to be a really difficult part of the track for many drivers today. And Jonesy he's not going to the pit, so he probably does not have a damage, or does not have major damage, but he's really slow on the exit. And we'll see David Berry will try and go past him. He does. And Spillage go past as well. So Jonesy, another spin. That's really unlucky. And again, I just will say it again that he was not in the pits so far. He started on the hard tires, so he still has 1 pit stop to go. And that's maybe the reason, even if he has damage, he will try and go maybe for 1 or 2 more laps, so he can then go on the mediums and go to the end. But now we see Ozan with all the shenanigans going on in front. He's now in P5. So we have both Williams in top 5, and he's now catching up on Optics. Can he make it through? No, he does not go for the move. But this is crucial for the Constructors' Championship, as this would extend the lead of the Williams team. Both Alfa Romeo and Haas have one driver out, and Nat goes to the pits. It's lap 14, so she'll probably go to the hard and go to the end. Let's see where she will end up on the track. She should be around P5, P6 maybe. Maybe even higher. No, she will be in front of Optics, because Ozan and Explicit Tyson both went to the pits. So Nat will be ahead of Optics, so she stays P3 for now, but those cold tires will not be a pleasure drive for the first few corners, and let's see if Optics can take an advantage of it. Optics goes on the inside. Will look like he will get the move done, but Nat will have the DRS in the second part. And we see that Optics does not have much ERS left, and Nat will definitely go for the move, try to steal the P3 back, and she does. So everyone is right now on the hard tires except for Smithy in P14, who is on the soft tires, so he is probably the only one. And with Jonesy, who will have to pit at least once in the remainder of the Grand Prix. Of course, safety car can, as usual, change all that. But right now we have done in P1 with a 6-second lead over Dusty Fakes. Net is P3, Optics P4. There is a fight maybe looming over between Pi and David Berry, the two Aston Martins in P5 and P6, less than a second apart. Both on pretty fresh hard tires, but David Berry with 3-second time penalty. And Zach has retired! Zach has retired, so that means both of the Alfa Romeos are out. And there is a safety car. So, as I was saying just a few seconds ago, the safety car can change everything, and Nat is probably furious because she went to the pits. She was waiting for the safety car most likely, but it came just after she went in the pits. She maybe could have been P2 if she would have pitted under the safety car, but yeah, we'll never know that. But she will have the tire advantage. Let's see if maybe Dan or Dusty Fakes will go to the pits, will go for the mediums, as it's probably too much of an ask to go for the softs at the end. Smithy is in the pits. Let's check with Dan. He's entering the final corner, and Dan is staying out. Let's see, Dusty Fakes goes in, so Dan is staying out on the old hard tires and will have a difficult task, because in P3 and now essentially in P2 there will be not on the fresh hard tires. Dusty goes on the medium tires, but it's a used medium tires, so it's gonna be really difficult to keep the pace up in the remainder of the 13 laps. Of course, the safety car now will help. Optics goes to the pits and he goes on the soft tires, so that's an interesting strategy from the Ferrari. Hopefully it will work out better than the real life Ferrari strategy. Jonesy goes to the pits. This is actually really good timing for Jonesy, as he can go on the fresh medium tires. And will return around P9 probably. So those are probably, let's see if anyone in the back will dive in for a new set of tires, but it seems Explicit Simo stays out, Explicit Tyson stays out as well. We'll see if Bloodpool will go in. I think Smithy has pitted from the soft tires onto the hard. Bloodpool stays out. Oh no, he dives in the last minute, or he's not sure what to do and he stays out. Hopefully he will not regret this decision. But he stays out, also Oliver stays out, and as I said, Smith is probably pitted already, but he's in an unlucky situation as he is currently a lap down and is behind Dan, and unfortunately, as we know on this game, the safety car does not let you go through if you are a lap behind, which is unlucky for him. And unlucky also for the drivers behind Dan, as Dan now has a little bit of a cushion behind him. But he is going to have a really difficult task. Holding up Net on the fresh hard tires, Spy on relatively fresh, definitely fresher than Dan's tires, and also Dusty Fakes on the mediums. Although he will have a really difficult task as well, just keeping those medium tires alive until the end of the race. So the field is slowly catching up. We have still 4 drivers who need to catch up with the safety car so we can restart the race. Let's see if it will be in this lap or if we will have one more lap. And we really have to keep eye on Optics as well, as he is on the fresh soft tires, and it's still 12 laps to go, which is going to be difficult, maybe not impossible, but he will have the advantage in the first few laps, but those tires should probably die out really soon. And there is some overtaking, I think maybe some miscommunication between Explicit Simo and Explicit Tyson. Both of them swapped places 1 or 2 times, so Hopefully nothing illegal, nothing of need of an investigation. Right, let's go back to the leader. The safety car is still out, as we still have drivers all over the track. Well, not all over the track, but the field is not yet all caught up. We are waiting for Bloodpool and Oliver. Now Bloodpool will probably catch the field right now in the sector 3, but yes, the safety car will go on for one more lap. Yes, best of luck, and hopefully it will be a good, clean battle. I know these two can have really good fights, so both have really similar pace around here, it seems like, after the qualifying. So it should be really, really good last 10 laps or so. And of course, as mentioned for a few times already, it's direct fight between the first and second driver in the Drivers' Championship. Currently then is leading by 19 points over Nat, so Nat will definitely try. She will definitely want to go for the first place and close the gap as much as she can, as we have only 4 races to go, counting this one as well, in the season, so every point is important right now, and every mistake can be really, really costly. The safety car should probably come in this lap. And it seemed like Optics went for a new set of soft tires, so he dropped down. And Jonesy, what happened to Jonesy? He dropped down, but he slept through, so he's back to P8. But yes, as we can see, Optics is on the fresh softs again, so interesting strategy. He lost 3 or 4 places, but I think the 2 or 3 laps on the softs, and yes, I think it may be not the worst strategy, as 10 laps on softs are definitely more doable than 13, so let's see how it pays off. But now we can follow Dan in his restart of the Grand Prix. And Dan has restarted the Grand Prix. Smithy should probably go out of the way, but yeah, he should be ghosted for all the drivers behind. Optics already gaining a place on Bloodpool in behind. Dan keeps the P1 at the moment. Optics goes to P10, so he's already gaining the places he lost with the second pit stop behind the safety car. And he's already P9 as Explicit Tyson. It is who spun in the first sector, and it seems like he does not have a front wing, so he will have to pit again, and that's most likely, if there is no safety car, that's his race pretty much done, as he will be far behind everyone else. But let's focus at the fight at the front. Dan is leading the pack on his old hard tires. He has the most worn set of everyone in the race, so that's really not an ideal position, but he's still in P1, so if he can keep it together, he will be looking at the top spot of the podium. No major changes behind. We see everyone lapping Smithy, and there is a yellow flag in sector 3. It's Optics on the soft tires. What happened? Yeah, he's probably spun again in the first sector, which is really, really tricky for everyone today. And Josie goes past Ozan for P7. Jonesy is on fresh set of mediums, so And Olan gets another 3 seconds of penalty. That's really unlucky as he was in fight with Jonesy, and with this spillage going on the move, trying to move on David Berry into the turn 4, it's I think turn 5 I believe. And there's yellow flags. What happened there? It's explicit Simo in a spin, coming on the longest straight. He has spun and lost some positions, but still, most importantly, Dan is still P1, just 5/10 ahead of Nat. We do not have the others which should be available from the next lap, so Nat will definitely be looking to try and get past Dan in the following laps, as Dan's tires will continuously just be getting worse and worse. And we saw David Berry with another 3 seconds of penalty. That currently puts him down a little bit. But let's see this fight. Nat is directly on the back of Dan. The DRS is enabled. See with the onboard camera going through the first sector. Will the Nat wait for the second straight, or will she send it down the inside? And there is a spin. It's Spillage. It's Spillage who spun. Now we see Nat is closing up, or Dan is going on the inside. Nat sends it around the outside. She does not stick the move, but she will have another chance. The second DRS zone, but she did not have a good exit, and now maybe Pi will try and take advantage of it. But the gap is still huge between the two of them, so Pi with no chance to overtake, and we see he's charging his ERS. He's probably too low of an ERS right now. And Nat is, again, just closing so much in this part of circuit on Dan. It's really the difference in the tires. It's 10 laps. And in this first sector, which is really, really technical, and the tire grip is so important here, but she cannot overtake there. So if Dan has enough of ERS and can maybe just keep it on the straight, he may be looking at the win. And Jonesy has pitted. He's got 3 second time penalty, so I don't know what happened there, if he has any damage. But again, everyone behind him moves up a place. And now let's see. Round 2 of the fight between Nat and Dan. And maybe even Pi coming up from behind, as Optics gets another 3 seconds of time penalty. Now Nat takes it in the first straight, but maybe Dan will, now with the DRS on this second straight, will try and come back. Let's see, yeah, but he's too far back, and now Pi maybe even looking at passing Dan, but he does not send it, and there's a yellow flag in the final turn. What's happened there? It's explicit Tyson who's spun in the final corner, but he gets it moving. It looks like he has no damage, so he can keep on going. But now let's see, Dan is already losing. He's 1 second behind Nat, so he's out of the DRS zone. Now maybe even Pi may be looking at getting past Dan on the next straight. And Dan is going to the pits, so he did not pit under the safety car. He now pits, and he will be losing a lot of places right now. So this can really change everything in the driver's standings. It will depend where will he come out. He's going on the soft tires, but he's down to P8, and with only 6 laps to go, it's going to be really tough task to catch up to the front. But now we see David Berry trying to go for the move on P3 and for the podium place. He's fighting with Dusty, who is on 12 lap old mediums. And yes, he's through at the moment, as we see a Red Bull of I believe it's Explicit Simo, as it's the only Red Bull left. He spun in the final part of the track as well. Yes, David Berry gets past Dusty Fakes and keeps his place even after the second DRS zone, and Explicit Simo has retired, so second Red Bull is out of the race for today. And now we have double Aston Martin on the podium. Can Dusty Fakes keep his life in his tires and maybe try to fight David Berry back? We shall see in the next few laps. But also with Dan pitting, it means that Ozan is right now in P5 again, and he is now the leading Williams for this race. But it will be hard task because he has Optics behind him, who will be closing up on the softs, or should be closing up on the softs. Now Dusty Fakes is still just barely in the DRS zone, but now it's 1 second. I don't know if he will have the DRS or not, but it seems like he is continuously losing time over David Berry. So, and he does have a DRS, and Jonesy goes for the fastest laps with 1:26.4. So, and he pitted, but also Dan has pitted, so I think he may be fighting for the fastest lap as well. But let's check if we can check in the penalties. Right now, David Berry with 6 seconds, so that would put him down, well, just only to P4, because Ozan and Optics both have 9 seconds of penalties, which is not ideal, and both will probably lose, if I'm counting correctly, two spots each at the moment to Spillage and Dan. And then Bloodpool with 11 seconds. And David Berry has gone past Pi at the moment. I don't know if Pi let him through or what happened, but it seems like Pi is ghosted. I'm not sure if he'll maybe go disconnected, and Dusty Fake spins in the final corner. He keeps it going, he has no damage, but an Explicit Tyson got disqualified for receiving multiple penalties, so that's not the way you want your race to go. And Optics in a half spin, he keeps it alive. Spillage, I know it was probably Smithy who got in the spin, because Optics is here fighting with Spillage for P6 on track, but of course Optics with 9 seconds of penalties will still drop down behind him. But of course Spillage wants to get past him and maybe try and fight Dusty Fakes for essentially a P4, maybe even P3 place, depending on how far can David Berry go and if he can increase the gap to 6 seconds and keep his current position. Spillage now really close on Optics. Back and round the outside in the long left-hander. They're still going side by side, but Spillage seems like he keeps the position, but he went a little bit over the curb on the inside and he got 3 seconds as well. Now, I think Pi may have disconnected because Ozan has got past him and he's on P3 at the moment on the track. Unfortunately, with all the penalties, he would right now drop 4 places to P7, if I'm not mistaken. Let's actually check the gap to the leader, as it will be easier to calculate. Yes, with 9 seconds, Ozan right now would drop to P8, but also there are Spillage and Optics with time penalties, so again, it's going to be important. What will the gap be in the end? We are now in lap 27, so only 3 laps to go at the front. It seems like a pretty straightforward win for Ned, who is 6.5 seconds ahead of David Berry, who has a 6-second time penalty as well, but he's right now more than 7 seconds ahead of Ozan, so he would still finish P2. And Pi is dropping down the field, unfortunately for him, and he's most likely AI car, as Pi was having a massive result here, and for both him and the Aston Martin, as at one moment they both were on the podium. Now Optics, yeah, he goes past by as well. And Spillage, another 3 seconds, so he's fighting Dusty Fakes, but he got another 3 seconds, and that may be massive news for Ozan, who is... Oh, and there's a contact, there's a crash between him and Dan! It seems like Spillage is alright, Dan has spun. And there are fights still going on. Dan has damage, he's going to the pits. So the second half of the race is not anything what Dan would have wanted. And he had such a good first half, was looking that he would be comfortably leading with the good strategy call in the after the first safety car when he caught up with Nat and was 4 seconds behind her with on the fresh hard tires while Nat still had to pit. And yeah, now we see the Pi has joined, so he probably had some connection issues. But now the situation on the podium is still Nat, David Berry in P2. Now Dusty Fakes would be P3 with Ozan 9-second penalty. But since Spillage has dropped, Ozan would keep his P4 at the moment. Of course, now with Pi joining, he has no penalty, so if he can catch up to the drivers ahead, he still may have a chance to jump not only Optics, but also Spillage and Ozan. So we will have to keep an eye on that, but we are in the final lap now. That is in the final lap, with only 12 drivers running in the race. As we can see Spillage and Optics fighting, and Ozan gets another 3 seconds. And that may be really costly for the Williams team. Luckily for them, their direct rivals are not doing that well. Not in the Haas is doing really well, but both of the Alfa Romeos are out. Let's see, maybe, and if Optics will try and go to move on Spillage, but he will still end up behind him, as he has 12 seconds of penalties. And now, right now, Ozan would be just behind Pi in the final standings, so yes, that's really costly for Ozan. Let's check with Nat, who is in the final sector and will be winning this race in Abu Dhabi under the lights. The final corner, and with 10-second lead, Nat has won the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. David Berry now coming round the last corner. He will be the P2 even with his 6 seconds of time penalty. Now Ozan will finish P3 on the track, but how far will he drop? Dusty Fakes, he has no penalty, so he should be on the podium on P3. Yes, that's true. Spillage doesn't go past Ozan, neither has Optics, but Pi has jumped Ozan by less than a second. So that final penalty cost Ozan his 4th place. Now Jonesy, P8. Bloodpool is P9, but he has a time penalty, so he will drop behind Dan, who is P9, so if nothing else will change in the driver standings, or if the race results, depending on the penalties and any other investigations after the race, it seems like we have new championship leader with Nat, who will take the lead with 3 races to go. And what a race. So many actions, so many spins. Yes. It proved to be really difficult track today, especially the 3rd sector, where we saw a lot of drivers spinning and also making contacts with each other. So let's see if these are the final results, or if there will be any other changes upon the further investigations. So, Nat taking the win today. David Berry in P2, Dusty Fakes P3, Pi. After disconnecting, he still finished up in P4, so it's still a pretty good race result for Aston Martin. Ozan in P5, Spillage P6, Optics P7, Jonesy P8, then in P9 with also the fastest lap, so an extra point for that. Bloodspool in P10, Madman Ollie Oliver in P11, Smithy P12, Explicit Tyson P13, but these are the drivers who have not finished today's race. So that's it for me today. Thank you for everyone tuning in and being a witness of my commentator debut, and maybe see you sometimes in the future if there is a need for a commentator. Thank you and have a good night. See you later. Bye.